Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 34th of solving the object-oriented programming system questions with the help of Python. So if you are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So in this playlist, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming. So we have been solving various questions. We started with a very basic question and we just move on to a bit trickier question and we increase the bar like anything. Slowly and gradually we have been just increasing the bar. Like on day 1 we have solved a very basic question, then we move on to day 2 where we have just increased the bar, then we have on day 3 we again increase the bar from the day 2, and then we just keep on increasing the bar of the question difficulty level. And we have just solved multiple where we have even solved question based on inheritance, and we have also discussed concept on of different type of inheritance. So now we are just doing question on multi-level inheritance today, and I introduced the concept of multi-level inheritance where we have discussed the concept of multi-level inheritance, and we also did a question on multi-level inheritance with a very basic example. And yesterday we just solved a question where we just increased the bar, where it was a second day for solving multi-level inheritance. However, we have been solving it for more than a month of for object-oriented programming system, where we have just understand and gain so much confidence and logic in object-oriented programming. Now we have day 34th, where we will be just solving question based on multi-level inheritance. And just before starting with this tutorial, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. Now let's start this tutorial. So create a class called person with attributes name and age. Implement a method called displayInfo that prints out the name and age of the person. So let's do this. So first of all, I will be writing here person, and this is a parent class. Now I will be creating a class called person, and now I will be writing two definite attribute that will be my instance attribute, that are name and age. Self dot name is equals to name, self dot age is equals to age. Now I will be writing a method here which says that whose name is display info, and inside this method I will be returning a value that displays the info. So I will be writing the name is self dot name, and I will be just writing a line break here, and the age is self dot age. Now while we just create an instance for person here, and if you run the method you will be getting the name and age for the parent class, that is person. Now we have to create a child class called employee that inherits from the parent class. So let's create let's create a child class called person, employee. So employee is the name of the child class. So uh, child class 1, that is our employee. Now class employee is our child class, so we will be closing it by parenthesis because it's a child class, and then we have to put a parenthesis, and inside those parentheses we will be writing the name of the child class, parent class, that is person. And now I will be writing definite here to get the instance attribute from our parent class. Now the moment I write init definite and press the enter key, you will be seeing on the screen that there is a super init function. So this super init function allow us to use the functionality from the parent class, that is of course instance attributes which we have created, and a a display info function that we have created. Now what they ask us next to do here is that inherits from the parent class, add an additional attribute called employee id to the employee class. Implement a method called employee info that calls the display info method from the parent class and prints out the employee id. So what we will be doing here is we have to create an additional attribute. So first of all let's create an additional attribute here. This is our additional attribute, and we will be writing self dot additional employee id is equals to employee id. This is our additional attribute. Now we have to create a method here, uh, add an additional attribute called employee id to the employee class. Implement a method called display employee info. So this is the method we have to create here, and close it by parenthesis. Now let's see what they are asking us to do in this method, what actually we have to do here. So implement a method called display employee info that calls the display info method from the parent class and prints out the employee id. So we have to just return the method from the parent class. So we can write self dot display info, that will be returning the values, means this returning the method from the parent class. And moreover we will be writing here return what else we will be returning. We will be returning the this uh, employee id. So the employee id is self dot employee id. Self dot employee id. Now we have to create another instance attribute, sorry, we have to create another child that will be our grandchild, right? Let's see if they are asking us to create a grandchild called manager that inherits from the employee class. Add an additional attribute called department to the manager class. Implement a method called display manager info that calls the display info that call display employee info method from the parent class and prints out the department of the manager. So we will be writing here class manager, close it by parenthesis, and putting the name of the parent class, so that this is the name of the parent class. So I will be just first of all putting it a comment here that this is child class 2, that is manager. Child class 2, that is our manager. Manager, and after putting this class we have to put a colon here, and I will be writing def init and press enter key. You will be seeing 3 instance attribute already been there. Now I have to put one additional instance attribute, that is, let's see what is it, it's department. So department, and self dot department is equals to department. Now we have to create a method. Let's see which method we have to create. Display employee info and display manager info. So display employee info we have already created in our previous class. Now we will be creating display manager info. Now in this method we have to return the method of our parent class. So parent class is employee for manager, so it will be just returning me display employee info. So I will be saying that self dot display employee info, and return me one more value, that is return f string here and the department, and I will be writing self dot department. And now it's time to create an instance object. Creating an object now. Now let's create an object here. So let's say what is person. So let's say Ahmad is equals to person. Or in we have to create I think instance for manager. So we will be creating Ahmad is a manager here. So automatically it will be taking four instance attribute, right? First is name, second is age, third is employee ID, and fourth is department. So age, first of all, name is Ahmad, age is an integer value, so we'll be putting, let's say 31 maybe. He's a manager, so 31 may be a good value is for him. Employee ID, let's say 5145, and then department is manager, and department is IT sector. Alright, so IT sector is the department. And now if I want to print this, I will be saying that print Ahmad dot display employee info, no, sorry, display manager info, because this is the class which we have to return. Now if I run this code, you will be seeing that the department IT sector. So now you are not seeing the value the previous value, right? So we will be seeing that how we can just include all the values. We are just only getting these values. So let's see how we will be getting all of the values which we want to print. So right now if I print, you will be seeing that the department IT sector, we are only getting this, right? So why we are getting this and what should we do, we will be checking it here now. So now if I just, instead of returning this value, so because I was returning this value, so that's why I was getting only one value, right? Let's see, you can see, as you can see on the screen, that we are getting department IT sector. So now if I want to get all the values like name, age, employee ID, and manage department, while only running by only running this display manager info, so I can, what can I do here is I can just replace return with my print value. So instead of returning, if I print this value, uh, because each time I am just inheriting in my class, it is returning me a value, it is not printing me a value. So I have to explicitly just explicitly uh, print those values. Like if I want to print the name, I have to print return name and age display info. For my person, then I have to just explicitly print the value for my display employee info. Then similarly I have to do for the same. Now I will be just taking multi-cursor functionality of Visual Studio Code and replacing return with print. So I will be just doing it like this. Alt, take the cursor and then write print here, put bracket here, and don't forget to just close the brackets. Now if you see that I am printing the value of method value. So right now now I do not have to print this value because I am already printing it in the above in the method. So if I run this code, you will be seeing the name is Ahmad, the age is 31, the employee ID is this, the department is this. Now in the age, I think I can just put it like this, and the age instead of is, I will be just putting it like this. Now it looks more better. See the name Ahmad, age, the employee ID and department, or you can also remove the from everywhere like this. Name, age and employee ID and department. Now this will look more better. See, so this was all in the question, guys. I hope that you have understood this question and you can also solve this question on your own. So this was all for today. I hope that you have liked this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial today, and see you next time.